Hello everyone, welcome to the A-Park channel. Today I want to tell you a story about change, about how I had to completely change my profession during the pandemic, and what I chose instead. The turning point. I didn't work long in the swimming pool, from December until March 15, 2020. Then everything suddenly stopped. Schools closed, public places closed, pools closed, and education moved online. The pool where I worked simply shut down. Losing the job, I couldn't continue working online. I was not part of the core staff. I was more like a temporary instructor. So when everything closed, I lost my job. I lost my income. That period was very stressful. You suddenly have time, but you don't know what to do with it. You start thinking, what's next? Where do I go from here? What was happening around you, at that time, only essential services were working. Delivery services, food supply, things people couldn't live without. Online sales were growing very fast, but I didn't choose that path. The decision. After some time, when restrictions started to ease, around the end of summer, I made a decision. I decided to become a truck driver, to get a CDL license. Preparation. Theory. Before starting practical training, I began preparing for the theory test. There were about 240 questions, very detailed, about truck structure, systems, safety. The test was divided into sections. It was not easy, but I had time and I used it. Study process. I spent many hours studying, sometimes even memorizing answers. I used an online platform where questions were very similar to the real DMV test. That helped a lot. Passing the test. When DMV reopened, I went to take the test. It was divided into parts. I passed one part first, then came back and passed the second. It took me about 2 attempts in total. I was very nervous, but all that preparation paid off. Truck school. At the same time, I enrolled in a truck driving school in Staten Island. Honestly, the school was average. I mostly relied on myself for theory, but I needed them for practical driving and for using their truck for the exam. Driving practice. I took more than 10 driving lessons. The biggest challenge was understanding how the trailer moves with the truck, especially when reversing, how it turns, how it bends, how to control it. The hardest part. The practical exam was the hardest part for me. I failed it 3 or even 4 times. That was frustrating. Mistakes. One time I missed an exit on the highway. I didn't want to make a dangerous move, so I continued and took the next exit. But for the examiner, that was a mistake. Another time, he said I was too close to a cyclist, even though I felt it was safe. Small details, but they matter a lot. Success. On the 4th attempt, I finally passed. I was extremely happy. It felt like a big win. Reflection. So yes, the pandemic took something from me. It took my job, but it also gave me something. Time to think. Time to choose a new direction. And trucking was one of the few industries that kept working during that time. Result. I started in August, and by September, I already had my CDL license. It wasn't easy, it cost money, but it was worth it. In the next videos, I'll talk about working in trucking, what I liked, what I didn't, and what to expect. If this is interesting for you, subscribe. Ask questions in the comments. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.